be going there in the first place, Salisbury this weekend.
Okay, we should be live.
Hey?
We're live.
Oh, come on!
No, we are.
What do you want to know?
Well, we had a topic list, but we couldn't find it.
But it was about driving. You have to learn how to drive. You're going to talk about learning how to drive in America.
Oh, I remember when I was in East Lansing, and I was doing parallel parking, and I was going up to get a driver's license or something, whatever you did in those days. And it was outside the police station, or below the police station. And I fiddled around with my parallel parking. And then I went up to the police station, or to whoever it was up there who I had to get a license from. And this man, maybe there were two men, who said that I should go down and practice some more with my parallel parking. So clearly it wasn't good enough. So then I went down and practiced. You've got to go out around the car in front of you on the right hand side. Then you have to stay in your car, reverse, and go at a curve, just the right place, and then keep going, reverse, and then you're straight. So I went back up and they gave me the, whatever it was I was there for, my license, I think.
What kind of car did you have?
What?
What kind of car did you have?
Oh, it was rotten. It was Fiat. It was blue. It was made in Italy. It wasn't worth tuppence. And I think it collapsed when I was on my way to buy a new one. And so I was driving to Toyota in Lansing, and my car collapsed, and I had to have it towed in to Toyota. Towed in, so that's the end of that story.
So the history of your car ownership, the first car you had was a Fiat.
Yes, it was blue.
And you had a Dodge Dart.
Oh, a Dodge Start, maybe it was a Dodge Start.
That was later.
Well, I drove it until the axle broke. And that was in the middle of the road on the way to Toyota, Spartan Toyota. And they had to come and, the road service had to come take me there. And it was covered by the insurance. So that's the end of that story.
So you bought a Dodge Dart, a blue Dodge Dart.
Yes.
Was that the first car you had after the Fiat? No. You drove one of Dad's old cars. It was a black car.
Your father's?
Yeah. Didn't he have a black...
Was it Mercedes-Benz?
No, he had a black Oldsmobile or something.
A what?
Before the red car, before the red Mr.
He had a black car?
He had a black car, didn't he?
I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it.
But you remember it.
Would you put the lights out in the kitchen?
Okay.
You loser, you're wasting money. No, here, Darrell. There.
So you had a black, Dad had a black car. I think it was also an Oldsmobile. And after he got a new car, he gave you that one for a while.
Was it an Oldsmobile?
I think so, but you decided
because he always bought Oldsmobiles.
Yeah.
Because he said loyal to, anyway, that was his logic, buying things that were made in Lansing.
Hmm.
And so you drove that black car for a period of time before you got.
Oh, I went to New England with that car. And did I give it to Tudor? I may have given it to Tudor, and maybe I brought his back, and maybe.
You're talking about the old Mercedes Benz. That was a long time ago.
Oh.
But that was later. I'm talking about the earliest car. Dad had a black sedan. It was I think it was also an Oldsmobile. And then you got the blue Dodge Dart, and that rusted out in a couple of years. That blue Dodge Dart fell apart quickly. You remember?
I remember the Dodge Dart.
It rusted out.
It did.
Very quickly.
Yes.
And then you got a Saab.
A Saab, and that was hopeless.
But you kept it.
I mean, it was the most expensive car. The only reason I bought it, there was a woman on Lantern Hill. Well, I maybe got it all wrong. She was from Stockholm. No, she was from Gothenburg. And she said, by a Saab, Swedish. So I listened to her, and I was a fool because it was so expensive to repair. Extremely expensive. Certainly wasn't worth it. And
but you kept it faithfully.
Well, I mean, I did.
And you had your own mechanic, the fellow who got cancer and died.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Dolly, you've got a good memory. Yes, I remember that fellow. I told him he shouldn't be doing that job. I can't remember his name.
He was the only guy around who could fix a Saab.
Mm.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he knew me well. So, okay.
So then after the Saab, what happened? Then you got
The red station wagon.
no, you had the red station wagon earlier. But how'd you like that one, the red station wagon?
He did.
The red.
Oh, I don't remember what I got that one.
You didn't drive the red station wagon though, Mom. The red Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser station wagon with a V8 engine.
What about it?
How'd you like that car?
Did I like it?
Yeah.
Why? I suppose I did.
It had a lot of French fries on the floor in the back.
Eh?
It had a lot of cold French fries on the floor in the back.
Gold?
Old French fries on the floor in the back of the car.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah.
And you used to eat them.
Not after they were cold.
Okay, carry on.
So why did Dad buy that car bright red? It was bright.
Bright red.
Yeah.
Well, I think he saw people would see it and wouldn't bang it and wouldn't drive into him, wouldn't have a crash, something like that.
Didn't you say something about red being the color of communism, and he wanted the communist colors on the car?
I don't know, maybe.
I remember.
Oh, you remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said it was the Vista Cruiser of communism.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Well, HC was really believed in Chairman Mao and China and communism and the Long March. So he believed in all of that, and there are lots of people who believe in all of that. And there's a fellow, and his name, I can't remember his name now. Maybe, what was his name? Anyway, he said, yes, the Long March got China out of whatever doldrums they were in. Like that word, doldrums?
Very much.
Not much.
It's a good word.
In the doldrums. It's a nice word.
Do your-
Okay,
but
come
do your
on.
subscribers know that word?
Eh?
Do your subscribers know that word? Doldrums.
My subscribers.
Yes, all the people on YouTube are watching
Wonder-
right now.
They probably don't know it.
How many people are watching right now?
I'm checking on my phone here.
My hair is
No one's watching.
my hair is white.
Too good.
White.
Yeah.
Well, people tend to check in after the live stream for the recording. Except for on Facebook. We had a lot of people on Facebook. But
My hair is white. I had a haircut the other day.
Yeah.
She did a good job.
Really? So,
What do you mean, really?
okay, we've gotten down to the
She really
to the
did.
Vista Cruiser, the red Vista Cruiser that Dad had from Oldsmobile, and we used to go for long trips up north. Do you remember?
Yeah, I used to go up there with we used to go to Michigan here. Where else do we go?
And unleaded gasoline. Oh no, leaded.
Unleaded.
It was leaded gasoline then, back then.
And we used to go with unleaded.
No, it was leaded.
Oh,
it had
okay.
that, yeah.
I'm trying to find all the stats on here.
Anyway, it was a nice big car.
It was big.
And what was the room at the back of the car? It was called. And you used to be in there. We used to put two boys in there and two boys in the back seat.
It was a station wagon.
But there was a big space at the back. What was it called?
Dog cage.
Anyway, yes, we used to go up. We used to go up to Walloon Lake in that car. I'm going to sing a song now.
About Walloon Lake.
No, you'll never go to heaven in an old Ford car, 'cause an old Ford car won't get that far. You'll never go to heaven in an old Ford car, 'cause an old Ford car won't get that far. Ain't not gonna grieve, my Lord, no more. I ain't gonna grieve, my Lord. Ain't gonna grieve, my Lord. Ain't gonna grieve, my Lord, no more. If you go to heaven before I do, just dig a hole and pull me through. If you go to heaven before I do. My hair is nice, isn't it?
It is. So that was a good song about driving the car. And could you talk about the car that has been the best car you've ever had? What's the best car?
What?
The best car you've ever owned.
My current car.
So how did you get that one? And what's
How did I get that? I think I was at the Guild, and there was a very nice woman there. Her name was Kate Smith, and my car wouldn't start. So Kate Smith drove me to Spartan. Very kind of her. And what did they do? She drove me to Spartan, and because my car key wouldn't turn,
is it the Saab or which car?
the starter.
Which car was
I'm just thinking.
Okay.
No, the Sabbath died long before this happened. Um, it was probably my Toyota.
No, did you have two Toyotas?
Oh, I can't remember.
How did you decide to buy the Toyota Camry that you have?
I think Aled told me it was,
Wasn't Gertrude Sadoff who told you?
eh?
Wasn't it Gertrude Sadoff who told you?
I don't know. She said something, but Aled told me.
I remember you saying Gertrude said it was a good car.
Well, she had one.
So you went and you bought a Toyota Camry, and that's been the best car you've ever had.
Yes.
Yes.
It is. It's reliable. It always turns on and it always goes.
Yes. And there's a button to keep the seats up. There's a
Oh,
bump.
it's a bum warmer, yes.
Yeah.
And you can lie back and go to sleep
Mhm.
to recline them. And it's very nice if the dog isn't there. But you don't want her licking your face when she's been licking her bum.
No, that's not nice.
Eh?
So what have you put the car into your will? Who should have the car?
What?
Have you put your car into your will and testament, last will and testament?
Oh, I think I'll give it to Fiona or Drake, one of the children. But I don't know if never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind.
But maybe I should put some more oil in it to keep it going.
Eh? Oil?
Yeah, and we're going to make a trip to
Oh.
Jackson. All right, we've
Oh.
covered the auto. Anything else you would like to say about cars? And
Is there anything I want to say?
what about
Well-
Annie Joyce's cars? Do you remember her cars? Or Annie Phyllis's? Or Uncle Yori's cars? Uncle Yori and Annie
Yeah.
Joyce had a Volvo, didn't they?
What did they have?
A
Volvos?
Volvo, didn't they?
Volvos?
I think so.
Oh, I can't remember. Did they have Volvos? Well, they had. I can't remember. Anyway, Yori used to meet me at Manchester Airport every time I flew home. He'd be there, faithful.
And Uncle Russell picked you up sometimes there too.
Maybe once, maybe. I think he picked me up in London. Maybe at Euston or maybe at the airport in London.
But he had a Beetle. Didn't he have a Volkswagen Beetle he picked you up in?
Did he have a one?
A Volkswagen Beetle.
Volkswagen. Yeah, I believe he did.
I think so.
And he put my suitcase on top and it flew off into the road.
Did you find it?
He got out, he stopped, he got out and he got it.
Okay.
Well,
Well, anyway, that was Russell.
that's Russell.
He, anyway, I'm not going to say don't speak ill of the dead.
Mhm.
So we won't say a word about Russell. Okay.
All right. So one of the things you had on the list was Will
Putler.
Putla. And did she talk about Will Putla before?
No, she hasn't talked about him. Will Putler. When we lived in 17 Hillside, Dolgarrog, where my mother occasionally complained about her reduced circumstances, because I've told you before, Mama was the daughter of Reverend John Williams, BA, and they lived in a lovely house, and they had servants. They lived in a house called the Vicarage, Llangolwada Church, Llangolwada Oswestry. And they lived in this vicarage, and they had a cook, maidservant, a nursemaid, a tutor, a gardener, everything. And there were 5 boys and 3 girls. The 5 boys were Robert Gainsford Wynne Williams, and he came to Yankeeland. And how did he come to Yankeeland? I'm going to tell you the story. His father, who used to go around the parish in Oswestry in a pony and trap, he used to go to all the churches in the parish, and well, he must have died. They all had weak hearts. He must have died, and my Uncle Bob, Robert Gainsford Wynne Williams, who was a student of theology in, what was the college? I can't remember the name, but Pete Roberts will know those details. So he was my uncle Bob, Mama's brother. Was in the pulpit, and these 2 Yanks from New York were in the pulpit, and they were listening to Robert Gainsford Wynne Williams, the theology student, preaching in the pulpit. And so these 2 Yanks asked one of the people in the pew by him, who is that young fellow up there in the pulpit? And she said, oh, he's the late vicar's son, and he's filling in until they find a replacement for his father. So those 2 Yanks, who are from the Episcopal Diocese in New York, and what's her name? Rebecca used to work for them. So those 2 Yanks who were in the pews found out who he was, and they paid his passage across the ocean, and they paid his tuition at St. Stephen's College, Columbia University. Those 2 Yanks. And so I told you they were associated with the Episcopal Church. Otherwise, what were they doing in that little church in the middle of nowhere? Well, it was in the middle of Oswestry. Oh, my hair is white as snow. White as snow, but no dwarves. Snow White, but no dwarves. Never mind. Putler. Will Putler used to come to 17 Hillside, and he used to come. He must have come in a pony and trap, and he had a milk churn, and he had a big ladle. So Will used to fill the ladle and pour it into my mother's jugs. And my mother was living in reduced circumstances. So there were 5 boys, I'll try to remember their names, and 3 girls. Robert Gainsford Wynne Williams, and he became President Nixon's cardiologist, and he also became
Pardon for me for interrupting. Are you talking about the children of your Uncle Bob?
yeah.
Your 5. How many brothers and sisters did your Uncle Bob?
No, I should. Okay, so in my mother's family there were 5 boys and 3 girls. Robert Gainsford Wynne Williams was 1 boy. Then there was Graham Williams. Then there was Cedric Williams. Then there was Charles, and there was Cadwallader. So that's 5 boys.
What about Paget?
Oh, and there was Paget. Very important. Paget. And then there were 3 girls. Harriet Theodora Mary, Sarah Grace May Williams, my mother, and Gladys Cordelia Maud. And she lived, I have a picture, where is it? That's a picture, here they are. Here.
Hold it up to the camera then.
You're supposed to put that on. There they are. That's my mother. There's Harriet Theodora Mary. And there's Gladys Cordelia Maud. And they're standing in front of Gladys Cordelia Maud's house.
Who was the baby?
The baby is Maud's grandchild, and I think the baby is, does it say?
Oh.
Graham Cedric, parents of their 8 children. It doesn't say.
Does it? No, it doesn't say.
You can put that on the plate and put it in the micro.
I like the sound
You haven't tried it.
I like to hear the sound of frying bacon.
Oh, you like the smell?
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about on the stream?
What?
Is there anything else you want to talk about today?
Well, I might.
Because we have 2 people here.
I don't want to pay you for being idle.
Okay.
You can go home and come back, can't you?
Are you done with the live stream today?
Okay,
What?
we can finish up the live stream and do something else.
Is this live stream?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is live stream.
People,
Well, nobody's interested.
No,
They
there's people
are.
watching. There's 2 people.
How many?
2. Oops, sorry.
What do they want to know?
They haven't asked you any questions. They're just listening to your story.
Oh, they just want to hear.
Yeah,
my
they were just
story.
listening.
Well, ask them how.
Will Putla, you were going to talk about.
Oh, Will Putler. So he used to come.
Did he have brothers and sisters?
I don't know if he did. His farm was called Putler. And I don't know what Putler means. You have to look it up in Welsh.
Was he short and fat?
Yes, he was short. And then, but I got a story to tell you.
And he was old as the hills.
What?
He was an old man.
No, he wasn't when he would deliver the milk. You've got to be joking.
Well-
But when Joyce and I were driving in North Wales, I don't know, it was near Glanconwy or where it was, but there was a church and full the parking lot full of cars, and Joyce and I said, "Come on, we'll go and have a look what's going on." So we went to the church, and who was standing at the door but Will Putter.
Hmm.
Will Putter was old by this time. And Joyce said to him when we got to the door, "Will Putter." So anyway, Will let us go in. He told us who was being buried and who the service was for. And it was for Anne Jones, who was related to Eleanor. Or it was Anne Hughes, who was related. No, it was Anne Jones. And Anne Jones was a lovely lady. She lived in a house with big black beams, and it was whitewashed. And one day, Vernon, my brother Bo, and Joyce and I went up, and I think Marina, we went up and we went and knocked on her door, and she invited us in, and she gave us a lovely tea, little sandwiches, scones, and tea. Scones with butter and cream and jam.
Butter and cream. Butter and cream. Can you explain how Will Putla delivered the milk? Did he
How
do it?
Will put
They
that?
didn't have plastic jugs of milk back then.
Oh, he had churn, a big, what's the grey metal? What's it called?
Pewter.
Eh? No,
Tin.
no.
Galvanized steel.
Aluminum?
Let me think what the material is. Uh, so what are you doing?
I'm managing the stream.
You what?
I'm managing the stream to make
Oh.
sure it stays live.
So what's going on with the stream?
Right now, we have 2 viewers, but no one's asking questions today.
No.
So I was checking on my phone. I was checking the analytics for the channel.
You were checking for?
Tech stuff. It
Oh,
doesn't make
okay,
much sense.
okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear about the milk. You say he had these big metal churns,
Yeah, but I
and he had a ladle,
yeah.
and the milk was
Put in.
it homogenized,
No,
pasteurized,
it just came out of the cow.
straight out of the cow,
Yeah.
and you could get tuberculosis from it.
Eh?
It was
It was put in jugs.
in jugs. Tell about
Yeah.
the jugs,
A jug.
clay jugs.
Jugs. Jugs are what we call them in the UK, and you call them pitchers.
Mhm.
Pitchers here. His turn was I'm trying to remember the metal. There's copper. It wasn't copper. It wasn't aluminium. Um, but it was grey. I gotta think.
Did you have a, where did you put the milk after he ladled it out? Your mother was standing there with the jug,
The jug.
and he ladled it out.
Well, she had to carry one at a time into the kitchen.
And where did she put them when she got them in the kitchen?
We didn't have a fridge.
No.
And she must have put them in the back kitchen where it was the coolest place.
What do you mean you didn't have a fridge?
We didn't have a fridge. No fridge, no stove. Everything was cooked on a coal fire and baked in the oven on the side of the coal fire. And my mother used to make delicious cakes, tarts, scones inside that oven. And when we had birthdays, she'd make a cake in that oven. Well, they don't know, the children these days, they don't know what it was like. But I know who is interested. Michael Otis is very interested how people lived in those days, in my time, where I grew up. So
when did you first see a refrigerator? The first refrigerator that you saw?
I saw?
Yeah.
First fridge I saw? Oh. Golly. I think it was in America. US. I think. I don't know if I saw one in London. After getting my degree in Birmingham from 1950 to 54, I got my SRN and my hospital certification, and then I became a member of the Royal College of Nurses in London. So after working in Birmingham General Hospital, you're asking me, did I ever see a fridge? When did I first see a fridge? Golly. Well, number one, they had a fridge for dead bodies, but it was a mortuary. And that would be icy cold.
Would have been a big fridge.
What?
A big fridge.
Well, it would have been a big fridge. It was called the mortuary. And then that's where they put the dead bodies until they were taken away in coffins. I don't think we did anything like cremations in those days. Even though I say it myself, I got lovely white hair.
So you didn't tell Mom, when was the first time that you saw a fridge?
Well, she did. It was in the mortuary.
Yankee Land.
In Yankee Land.
I think so.
So in 1957. First refrigerator.
I think so. Gabriel is asking interesting questions, which I haven't given much thought to. So I came across, so I went to work in London, and I went to St. Mary's Hospital, and I didn't like the job there. So they had a private unit called the Lindo Wing. So I went to the Lindo Wing, and I worked there, and I looked after people like uh, Somerset Maugham's brother, who had a herniorrhaphy, and Dame Margot Fontaine, who had her varicosities stripped.
Would you like me to end the stream with the eats?
Um,
Oh, lovely.
do you want to? You can eat your breakfast and stream at the same time.
Yeah, if you
A
want.
little bit, yeah.
No.
No.
No? Okay.
You want to eat? Okay.
All right, we can start another one later.
Oh.